controversial. It drew some criticism amongst some conservative pundits and many vaccine skeptics. Fox News commentator Tommy Loren tweeting, perhaps this T-Swift Travis Kelce thing is a match made in heaven. After all, I wish them the best of luck, not with their relationship per se, but rather myocarditis. This along with a series of tweets and hateful comments on Twitter and his social media page, prompting Kelce to turn off his comments, but people still flooded it with all sorts of attacks on him. Now, the scientific evidence shows teen boys were at a 2 to 6 times higher risk of heart complications after getting the COVID-19 infection compared to receiving the vaccine, while young men were at a 7 to 8 times higher risk, meaning that the danger of death or serious illness was far greater for young men from getting COVID and then getting myocarditis than from getting myocarditis from the vaccine, which is an increased risk. It's fair to ask whether the booster is worth it for young, healthy boys. Totally fair question. But given the science, are really at the point that just encouraging a booster shot leads to a sort of fury? Back with us, Carrie Sheffield, conservative commentator, senior policy analyst at the Independent Women's Forum, Connell McShane, new host of NewsNation Now, and comedian John Fugelsang, host on Sirius's Progress Channel. Carrie, what is with the fury from some on the right about just an ad supporting a booster shot?
Well, I think for a lot, it triggers the thing about mandates, shutdowns, masks, government lying to us about many things. I personally took the Pfizer vaccine, and I actually had massive hair loss, and I had my lymph nodes swell. And my physician said, yeah, that's a very common thing we're seeing. Also, women are having their menstrual cycles disrupted. So yes, it's not as likely, but I've always taken all my vaccines. I'm not anti-vaccine at all. But it is true that there are side effects from these vaccines. And so talking about the side effects, as you mentioned, is important. And also young men who do get COVID are much more likely to have a natural immunity from the disease versus
it's a real it's a fair question to ask whether it's worth it. I had a doctor on the show who I think is very smart and nuanced on this, who said, look, he said, when it comes to young men, would I tell them to get a booster shot who are healthy? I might not. He said if they're healthy young men, he said it's a close call from his perspective. But the fury that you see from many about this, it's like a triggering thing. You mentioned the COVID, and it's like, oh, the COVID vaccine.
Yeah. They've been groomed to be that way, Dan. Donald Trump has been vaccinated. Donald Trump has been boosted. Yet there's a blind spot for folks when they hear this. Donald Trump lied to everyone that it was safe to go to church on Easter Sunday 2020. The same week, he told Bob Woodward on a taped conversation that the virus was airborne and deadly. So our outrage over COVID lies and disinformation has been really selective.
Thank you for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your cable provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.